use. It's called Cabasa, tiny musical instrument. Because I normally will use that anytime I want to. The shaker that you hear in my piano now, that is Cabasa. So I will normally use that from way back then. No. So there was, when they started calling me Cabasa, initially I was like, why would you be calling me Cabasa because I use an instrument? So the name was becoming more popular with me that I had to look for another meaning to it. And the meaning I gave to it was this, that look, if you look at my stature, I look skinny, the unassuming guy. So I saw myself as the unassuming skinny guy that is in that big industry that you cannot do music without having me in you. Right. So I had to put that meaning to it, and I had to adopt the name. To be sincere with you, it will be a huge lie if I tell you you will know a song that will become a hit. You can know a good song. You can know, in quote, a sweet song. But what makes it a hit? Acceptance. You can make the best of songs that if people don't accept it, you just keep saying it to yourself that, and it's such a good song, but people will tell you it's not really a hit. When you look at it, you are looking at numbers. You understand how many people are vibing to the song, how relevant or impactful is the song with people. So at the end of the day, as a music producer, your work is to make sure that you create potential hits. Potentials are not guaranteed. That is one thing I normally would tell people, that, but you as a person, you create potentials in every song that you want to create, that to make sure that, okay, the song is simple, the song is relatable. You are not trying to impress your fellow musicians, you are trying to impress the crowd, I would call it. And the crowd has to do with a lot of people that don't understand music, but they also want to pick up what you are doing. So that part of being simple is major, because if you look at the biggest song in the world today, Happy Birthday to You, Happy Birthday to You, nursery rhymes and all of that, don't be unnecessarily too, I won't use the word deep, don't be unnecessarily too complex, trying to be deep. Because depth itself is supposed to be you actually breaking down what is supposed to be complex to make it simple. That is depth. But when you complicate things all in the name of, I want to sound so good that nobody can actually do, you might not be able to create a hit song. Depth is not you appearing complex. Depth is not complexity. Depth is actually being able to explain something that is supposed to be complex in a simple time that everybody understands. So and get that done, I believe, as a musician, as anything, not just even as a musician, you'll be able to reach people.
Fantastic.
So I think the point where producers started becoming famous actually started from my own generation. Myself, Don Jazzy, Cobams, Prophecy, and all of that. That people started paying attention to what we were also doing. Because like for me, it would be very hard to say, okay, this particular artist made ID Cabasa. It was because this artist jumped on his beat. That was why we knew ID Cabasa. No, rather it was more of, this guy has some insane beats, and these artists, so you could trace my work to what I do, not really to anybody. And it has even evolved so much now that people now look at producers from the same way they look at artists. Are they being fairly treated? Is a process. It's getting to a place that I can say, personally, I'm happy, because a whole lot of the young guys that are doing stuff now, they are getting well paid. When I started, everything goes to the artist. You get paid peanuts when you are in the studio, and when the song becomes big, everything goes to the artist. I was privileged, I would say I was lucky to have worked with certain people, the likes of Olamide, Nice, Reminisce, and all of those guys, that they were also human. They knew the imperfect nature of the industry then, and were making, should I use the word, they were making plans for, okay, if the industry does not really have a way of rewarding this guy, we have to also look for ways to reward this guy, especially Olamide. So when the industry formed, that we now get paid royalties and all of that, I had to talk to people like my lawyer, which is why I advise every artist to actually get a lawyer before you get a manager. So set a system, a proper system, that all the works that I've done in time past, I can still get my royalties from them. Then the new ones that I've started, that I'm doing now, I'm still getting paid royalties from. And even the ones that I don't plan to do, that people will use what I have done to do, I still get paid royalties on. So the industry is forming, and it's forming well. If we can be accountable to, if I'm spending X amount of money, I'm not coming to the table to pad it, I'm not inflicting the figures that I'm spending. And you as the artist, your expectations need to be managed too. So the major issue that normally happens starts from the place of signing contracts. I have begged, I have screamed, I have done everything that I can do within my power to actually talk to majorly artists that, look, your greatest word when you're on the negotiation table, your greatest power is the ability to say no. If you don't know how to say no, you will eventually sign off your life. So most of them come to the table with desperation. What they have seen over time is Olamide is buying X amount of house, Davido is doing this, Wizkid is doing that. So once I become an artist, I should be able to do this, I should be able to do that. So they get into the industry, somebody is offering them something, and all they want at the end of the day is, okay, if I'm comfortable, if I live somewhere in Lekki and I have a car and this guy is promising to actually do this, do that for me, I'm fine. But you are thinking of now, you are playing a finite game that you know the end. You are not thinking of what can come afterwards. So you are selling off your value, which is actually much. Most of them don't really know what they carry, what they have in their hand. Your social media is actually a value proposition when you get to that table. So many other things. So you come to the table and I ask you, what do you want? Most times the answer they give to you is where the problem starts from. They tell you, I want a car, I want a house, I want this, just give. So I will tell you that, okay, I will give you this, I will give you that, then I will give you 20%. Is that fine? They will tell you, yes, it is fine. Now, the guy that is asking to give you 20%, and he is taking 80%, is not giving you a bad contract. You are the one that is making the bad decision. So at the end of the day, I ask them, go get a lawyer, look at the value you are bringing to the table compared to what the record label is bringing. Sometimes some artists actually bring more to the table than the record label. Sometimes the record label, the only thing they bring to the table is just money. But thank God for great labels like even what Don Jazzy and Co are running, that they bring beyond money. They bring a system that works, which is what I will advise any artist to actually go for. If you know they have a system that works, that is bringing more to the table beyond what you can do for yourself, I am sure getting 10, 20% of a huge sum is better than getting 100% of something that is very minute, that you can't really do much with. But when it gets to because it's an ecosystem, it's not just the record label that makes off all of those money, because I'm spending, and music business is very expensive now. If I'm spending on music videos now, don't let me quote the figure before people come after.
You're free to call the figure.
You are spending averagely like $20,000-$25,000 on a music video, and I'm very intentional with that word average, because it's more than that in most cases. You are spending that, and to promote, let's use the word promoting a song now, both on social media and all of that, you are spending like $30,000. On one artist, you are spending almost $70,000. Convert that to Naira, and the day the artist gets a show that they are paying him, let's say 5 million Naira, and is having a 2 million Naira take home, start complaining that. Now, I'm not saying that all of these things are the fault of the artist, because there are also some record labels that are strictly business oriented without soul behind. I have a friend that they call the wicked producer. So
I get it.
Right. We use wicked. So they're actually wicked, that all they want to do is to. The music business is meant to be exploited, but they want to abuse you as a person, that they don't really care how you fare, they don't care about what you bring to the table. So at the end of the day, all of this thing has to do with the emotions. The logic behind it is get a lawyer. Their lawyer is talking, your lawyer is talking, you are putting preposition on the table, they are putting, and in fact, the answer that should be at the back of your mind should not be just say yes, yes. Be ready to say no. No to this particular one. No to, so if they now agree, and we both agree, then we can go with contracts.
Yeah.
I've had with some people close to me, and I think it starts from your psyche. You must first tell yourself that you will not always be number one. I'm a Christian, and that's, funny enough, I found in the Bible that the crown will not last forever. That is to say, you will not always be the number one. If that is at the back of your mind, you will not play to blow. Rather, you will play to shine. And I was saying this on Saturday, that when you play to shine, it's a long game. I'm not playing in the Premier League just to win the Premier League. I want to also play to still stay in the Premier League. Most people are playing to always want to win. So every time they don't get to win, they lose out. They might even, I support Chelsea football, unfortunately.
It is well.
It is well. Most people just, that pressure of always wanting to win, not wanting to just be there and also be relevant. They always want to be number one. That is one of the issues that I saw. Then there's also this part of experience that I know how it's being done. Unfortunately, experience is what has worked. Inspiration is what will work. I keep saying that the experience is a comb life has given to you after you have lost your hair. So to stay, yes, it's worked in a particular way doesn't mean it will always work in that particular way. The creative industry is a place that changes per time. So most of them stop learning. Most of them stop learning. Most of them still want to do it the way they've always been doing it. Like for me, my greatest strength is to sit down and sit with these young cats, like we call them. By the way, my age might be my generation, but I'm Gen Z. What do you mean by vibe? You are saying this now. What do you guys mean by this thing that you're saying? Talk to me. Let me see what you are feeling in this particular thing. Even if I can't feel it, there's nothing bad in me asking you to do it for me. So that I'm working on an album now, and I can tell you, Olamide is actually the one that I'm going to more like an A&R person. That Ola, do you think this song makes sense? Do you think this song will fly? And all of that. There is nothing. See, Yoruba people will say that the old is wise, the young is powerful. That is how they built it. We need the experience of the old and the strength of the new to actually create. We should not be replacing ourselves. We should be having a sort of
collaboration.
Yeah, you understand? So that you will know. And most of the, from recent podcasts that I started seeing some of our old cats, a lot of them need to be healed. A lot of, they need healing, sincerely. They need healing. And most of what people are blaming people for were their fault. I said I'm reimagining old songs. I'm picking some of those songs.
So just sampled some things from...